Rumbleverse is the latest game to take a swing at the Battle Royale genre, only this game has quite a big twist on the subject matter, as it opts to leave the guns behind in favour of wacky, over-the-top pro wrestling manoeuvres. With this game being the first of its kind, new players, such as myself not too long ago, may have some difficulties getting to grips with it for the very first time. That is why we're bringing you this video, a beginner's guide if you will, breaking down all of the stuff that any newcomer would want to know about. With that being said, my name is Cameron Bash, welcome back to the Movement channel, where today, we're covering the top 5 things that you absolutely need to know before you play Rumbleverse. So, jumping right into things, coming in at number 1, we have the basic controls. Now, this one may seem like a no-brainer, but as I already mentioned, this game is the first of its kind. It's fairly easy to move between games like Call of Duty Warzone, Apex Legends, and even Fortnite to a certain extent, as all of these games not only play pretty similar to one another, but they also have very similar mechanics and other gameplay elements to them as well. Rumbleverse isn't like any of these games. In fact, I can't really think of any other game that Rumbleverse is like, so it's going to be very important to know exactly what you're doing before you hit the ground running. Not including the obvious movement controls, our entire control scheme can be broken down into 6 basic actions: attacks, jump, block, dash, dodge, and interact. Starting with your attacks, by default, you have 2 types of attacks. Your basic attack will allow you to throw 3 regular attacks at your opponent in a row, which will do moderately low damage. Basic attacks can also be performed in a variety of other circumstances, such as when you have a weapon in your hand, or when you're in mid-air to perform a diving attack. The basic attack really is at the core of your arsenal. Then you have your vicious attack. This is a move that takes slightly longer to perform, but will do more damage as a result, typically with a suplex. However, if you go to throw this move and miss, it can leave you in a vulnerable position, so be careful. You also have some other special attacks in this game, but those are quite important, so we've devoted the entire second section of this video to them, which we'll get to here in just a few moments. Next up, you have jump. Jump in this game will see you do one small bunny hop, similar to that of a Mario jump. There is no double jump in this game per se, but when you land after performing one jump, if you jump again, your second jump will be slightly bigger than the first one. You can also jump while climbing up walls to speed up the process, at the cost of some of your stamina. Following that, you have block. Blocking will see your character put a small bubble shield around them, which will protect you against most of your opponent's basic attacks. However, be careful, because this block won't protect you from vicious attacks or diving attacks, so use this wisely. The next control on your list is dash. Dash gives you a quick little jump in your step that will see you propel forward with speed. Again, at the cost of some of your stamina. This is great for getting around the map quickly, running after your opponents, or, since this is a beginner's guide, running away from your opponents too. Combo this with jump by first hitting the dash button, followed by the jump button, and this will see you blast forward with even greater momentum, which will have you jumping across buildings and skipping down the streets of Capital City. Dodge is the next control that you need to take a note of, as this will allow you to quickly evade your opponent's incoming attacks with a small tactical roll. This won't be all that useful in protecting you from massive AoE attacks, and also becomes less useful if you spam it over and over again, but using it to get out of the way of an oncoming attacker before proceeding to hit an attack of your own is the smartest way to use this thing. And finally, last but not least, we have the interact button. This is perhaps the most important button in the game besides from your attack buttons, as on top of this doing basic stuff such as picking up items, this button also doubles up as this game's version of the climbing and mantling system, something that you would typically expect to see attributed to the jump button in most other games. To climb a structure, walk up to it and press the interact key. This will allow you to start climbing it. Likewise, to mantle a small ledge, move towards it, then press your jump button to jump towards it, followed by the interact button to mantle it. I imagine that this control in particular will be the one that gives people the most trouble, but it takes just a couple of games of trying it out for yourself to get it down, so I'm sure you guys will be mastering it in no time. Now, I understand that despite the clear breakdown of each individual control, some of you will still be struggling to make heads and tails of all this, and that's okay. This game is a new experience, so it's not going to come as quickly to everyone as it will others. But trust me when I tell you, when you do get the basic controls down, you are going to have so much fun with them, because this is such an incredibly satisfying game to play. Moving on to the next thing we're going to be covering in this video, number 2, magazines. The magazines play a key part in this game, as these are the things that will allow you to do those special attacks that I referred to earlier. Throughout the map of Capital City, you will find various crates and vending machines that spit out magazines of 3 different colours. Green being the most common and weakest, blue being slightly more rare and the mid-tier of damage, and purple taking on that legendary spot, being the strongest of them all. When you find a magazine, you'll press the interact key to pick it up, followed by the basic attack button to read it. When you read it, you'll be given a brief description of what this special attack is, where you'll be given 3 options. You can either press the special attack 1 button to put it in the special attack 1 space, you can press the special attack 2 button and put it in the special attack 2 place, or you can press the cancel button to drop the magazine onto the ground. All of these special attacks are unique in their very own ways, each featuring its very own pro wrestling maneuver. From cutters to choke slams, super kicks to spears, this game contains so many cool and different moves that you can unleash on your opponents, and equipping and using these moves for the very first time is really only going to scratch the surface of what you'll be able to do with them. Chaining one special move into another, or hitting a special move from the top of a skyscraper, sending your opponent into the world down below, are just some of the many exciting ways that you'll be able to take these moves to the next level. So be sure to experiment and get crazy out there, as this is going to be one element of the game in particular that I can see staying quite fresh for a long, long time. Next up on our list at number 3, we need to talk about protein pods. Scattered across the map, there are a variety of items to be found. Chickens will refill your health, energy drinks will increase the stamina regain for a set period of time, and weapons will provide an extra bit of power behind your attacks. But on top of all of those items, there are items called protein pods, which are very important if you want to remain competitive against your opponents. There are 3 protein pods that you'll be able to find. These are called arms powder, core powder, and legs powder. Whenever you find and consume one of these items, you'll notice that the meter in the bottom right hand corner of your screen will start to fill up with 1 point. This meter is your stats meter. Consuming protein pods throughout the game will increase the stats that you are playing with against the other players. The arms powder will see an increase to your damage, the core powder will see an increase to your health points, and the legs powder will see an increase to your stamina points. Typically, these will cause your stats to increase by 10%. However, if you have already consumed 4 copies of one particular protein pod, then consuming a 5th protein pod of the same type will see a 20% increase instead of the 10. So if you choose to consume a total of 5 protein pods of the same type, you'll gain a total of 60% increase to that stat, as opposed to just 50%. How you choose to spend these will really be up to you and your own individual playstyle, so be sure to mix and match them as you work out which playstyle works best for you. Just be sure to keep in mind that you can only drink 10 of these per game. Coming in at number 4 in this video, we're covering the Perk meter. The Perk meter is that small meter that is located above the stats meter on your HUD. At the start of your game, it will be listed at being 0 out of 500. In order to fill this meter up, you will need to engage in the action and fight other players on the map, as for every point of damage you deal, you'll gain 1 point towards your perk meter. When the perk meter is full, you'll be granted a random perk and the meter will reset, this time to 750. Fill it up again, get another perk, it'll reset to 1000, and so on and so forth. While we don't have a full list of perks available at this time, some examples include Brainbuster, which sees basic vicious attacks level up, or Runner, which makes it so dashing costs 40% less stamina. There is a wide range of perks available in this game, and what you want to try and do is collect some of these throughout your game, while you're still able to engage other players on a one-to-one basis. Because if you enter the end game where there are loads of players and you don't have any perks while all of those guys have 5 or 6, you're going to be in a really difficult situation compared to them. So do yourself a favour and make sure you're prepared and earn those as you go. And last but not least, coming in at number 5, we're talking the Super Meter. The Super Meter is the light blue bar with a star that you can see above your health and stamina. You can fill up this bar in 2 different ways. The first is again by fighting your opponents, as the damage you inflict will be transferred into Super Meter energy. And the second way you can charge this meter is by collecting these small blue stars that you'll find literally everywhere across the map. Seriously, it's impossible to miss them. Once your Super Meter is full, you can do one of 2 things with it. The first thing you can do is activate it. You can activate it by pressing the Super Mode button that you'll see in the middle of your HUD, and this will see you go into Super Mode, where, on top of having more powerful basic attacks, you'll also gain access to a super attack. If you manage to hit this move on your opponent, you'll hit them with a devastating power bomb, dealing massive amounts of damage to them and anyone around. This is by far the most powerful weapon you have in your arsenal. But if you don't want to do that, the second thing that you can do is just hang on to it. Because if you happen to find yourself in a situation where you would have got KO'd out of the game, if you have that fully charged Super Meter on you at the time, then that Super Meter will kick in, giving you a second chance at life, reviving you from the grave in the spot that you went down. You'll stand up with a burst of energy around you, knocking back anyone who's camping your body, giving you a small chance to compose yourself, ready to get back into the fight. And there we have it, folks. Those are the 5 things that you need to know to get yourself started in the world of Rumbleverse. If you enjoyed this video and it's helped you get ready for Grapple City, please consider dropping a like on the video, and of course, if you have friends who'd benefit from this beginner's guide as well, definitely be sure to share it with them so that they can benefit from all of this support too. But with that everyone, I've been Cameron Bash, and we'll see you soon for another video. Peace!
What the hell is going on here? Wait, no, that's impossible. No, what the hell is he doing here?